what I want to discuss very briefly is just surround yourself with success for success. You need to understand that people in the United States are suffering. And some of you can relate to this. By age 65, 95% of Americans fail to retire after working for nearly 45 years, 95%. The average savings for a 65-year-old is $400,000. Now, women live 20 years in retirement. If you divide $400,000 by 20 years, that's 20 grand a year. How many people can retire on 20 grand a year? No hands? Impossible. It's an epic fail. Plus, 29% of us are dead by age 65. So the golden years are a golden lie. It's a bunch of BS. They show you, on TV, the elderly couple walking the beaches of Greece or on the cruise ship and this crap. That's not happening. It's not happening except for the very, very, very few people. What you're here to learn today is how to change that for yourself and your family so you don't fall into the 95%. And part of this is because people have become accustomed. Why is this happening? Because people have become accustomed to living paycheck to paycheck, and they accept it as the norm. It's now accepted. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, or feel like they are, or are. So I don't know what feeling like you are. You either are or you aren't, but that's what the statistic says. I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Well, you are. That's why you feel that way. So why would people think it's the norm? It's because they hang out with their peers who are also living paycheck to paycheck. They think everybody does. They think everybody does. In other words, if you hang out with a bunch of people that are in the same financial position as you are in, can you see why you start to think, hey, everybody's like that. That's the way it is. But that's wrong. And there's a huge problem associated with this. And it comes down to Jim Rohn's point that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. You're the average. And if you're hanging out with your peers, in other words, if you make, say, 100 grand a year, and you hang out with a bunch of people that make 100 grand a year, that's you. That's who you are. That's who you're going to remain. There's not going to be any growth. You can't move forward in that position. But what do we all do? We hang out with our peers because it's comfortable. It's comfortable. Now, some of you are going, yeah, no, I'm not the average of my 5 best friends. I'm the top dog in my group. I'm way above average. I got news for you. The other 5 people in your group think they're the top dog. You are not the top dog in your group. You're the average, and so are they. There's really not going to be a top dog. So what you want to do is stop talking to your broke friends about money. I literally had a lady come in. She comes into the free sample class, which is where we sell the basic membership. And she says, I want to join, but I'm not. And she leaves. And we go out for drinks afterwards, and guess who's sitting at the bar right next to us? That same lady. So we run into her afterwards. And I've got a buzz, she's got a buzz, we've all got a buzz. We're just having a good time. And finally I go, I don't get it. You wanted to join. It made sense to you. Why didn't you join? And she goes, well, my friend told me it's just not the right time to get into real estate. I go, really? Who's your friend? She points at the bartender. Do you see what I mean? Stop talking to your broke friends about what you're doing. This is another thing. If you're out building wealth for yourself and your family, and you're hustling, and you're coming to events like this, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, because they will naysay you. They will tell you you're bogus, that Total Wealth is bogus, that Steve is bogus, real estate doesn't work. Am I right? It's happened to you, hasn't it? Keep it to yourself or to your closest friends who have the same goals as you do. If they don't have the same goals as you do, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. And then think about this, please. If you run around with 9 losers, pretty soon you'll be the 10th loser. That's the way it works. That's Les Brown, by the way. If you're not familiar with him, go listen to Les Brown. He is phenomenal. Yeah, he is great. But here's the good news. The good news. Did you know that if you hang out with 9 millionaires, pretty soon you'll be the 10th? You will. It works. You've got to hang out with people who are better than you. Does it make sense? Well, I'll get to that in a second. You ever heard this phrase, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? Absolutely. Does some of that start to make sense now when you think that the rich are hanging out with rich people and the poor are hanging out with poor people, and they're passing on beliefs generation after generation after generation? The poor are passing on the same poor beliefs generation after generation. The middle class are passing on their beliefs generation after generation. And the rich are passing on their beliefs, which result in wealth to their kids. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer because of who they hang out with. The way that Confucius put it is, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong room. I went to a mastermind group, $20,000 a year, and they gave me a free pass to come one time to see if I wanted to enroll. So I go there, and there's like 6 or 7 people sitting around a round table, all millionaires, all executives, all on their own business, and they're throwing out problems. And what you do is you throw out a problem, and then the other people give you some ideas for how to solve that problem. Well, when I sat there, there were like 8 problems given out, and I knew at least answers to each of those problems. I knew what to do. In other words, there was nothing that they brought up that was new or foreign to me. So should I join that group for $20,000? No. I'm sorry, but I want to be the dumbest motherfucker in the room. I don't want to be the smartest. It doesn't work that way. If you're the smartest person in the room, you are definitely in the wrong room. You want to be the dumbest in the room if you really want to grow. And this all leads to this particular point. You'll be the same person in 5 years as you are today, except for the people you meet and the books that you read. You'll be the same. I'm 60, and unfortunately I hang out with 60-year-olds. Sorry if you're 60, don't get offended. Oh my God, it's freaking boring. It is suicidal boring. And here's the reason why. Did you know that 70% of Americans don't read nonfiction books after high school or college? And did you know, think about this, most people who are 60 are dumber than they were at 22? Because does your memory get better or worse? It gets worse. So you've actually forgotten a bunch of stuff you knew at 22, and you haven't been reading to fill it in. If you're not reading nonfiction books, your brain is shrinking. It's atrophying. You're losing it. I'm telling you, I hang out with these people. They're still talking about stuff that they should have been talking about when they were 13 or 14. It's unbelievable. I'm talking about emotionally, financially. It's just awful. You want to be meeting new people constantly. And one of the things that happens here, and this is a sales pitch for the Spotlight Night, you know we have the expo twice a year, then we have 10 Spotlight Nights. When I was going to these events, I made a point, and I have difficulty meeting people, but I made it a point to meet at least 2 new people every time I went to an event. And I suggest you do the same. And what ends up happening is you end up with a phone at the end of 1 year, just 1 year. If you went to 12 different events, 1 a month, picked up 2 people, you got 24 millionaires in your phone now. It changes your life. I've got some people in my phone that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars just because I networked. So be at those Spotlight Nights as often as you can. And remember, you've got to hang out with successful people if you want to be successful. Now, before any of you email me and tell me, Steve, you're a jerk, you only have rich friends and you forgot about your old friends, that is not what I'm saying at all. At all. I'm not saying to give up your old friends and only have rich friends. I have 2 specific groups of friends. I have my wealthy friends, which I generally meet here at Total Wealth Academy. And then I have my regular friends, which I just described as no longer fun to hang out with. They want to talk about sports and they want to talk about this and that and the other, and it's like hanging out with teenagers. I'm not putting down teenagers, by the way. Let me be careful. Teenagers are wonderful. But you want to have a group of wealthy friends. And joining Total Wealth Academy, being a member here, you should be able to build that team in about a year. Set a goal of in 1 year to have 24 people in your phone that many of them will be millionaires, some of them will be multimillionaires, people that you can throw ideas off of and get advice from. It's just super powerful. And then again, well, there it is. Surround yourself with successful, like-minded people if you want to succeed. If you want to succeed. And you're doing that by being here at Total Wealth Academy.